PM instructs Phnom Penh Governor and Mo to accelerate construction of COVID-19 hospital. The Governor of Phnom Penh, Khuong Shreng, and the Ministry of Health were instructed by Prime Minister Hun Sen to cooperate and expedite the construction of a hospital for treating COVID-19 patients. The Ministry of Post and Telecommunications launched Tuesday the Digital Government Cooperation Center, DGCC, which plays an important role in building policy and capacity of digital government cooperation. New academic year to start on Monday next week. The new academic year of the general education in Cambodia will kick off on Monday, January 10, Prime Minister Hun Sen said. Cambodian PM reveals some items on agenda of his trip to Myanmar. Before his departure for the official visit to Myanmar on January 7, Prime Minister Hun Sen, the ASEAN chair for 2022, revealed some items on the agendas of his trip. Cambodia's Omicron total rose again, bringing the total to 94 cases of the new variant. Video, Banti Minchi to hold third flooded forest rehabilitation campaign. Banti Minchi Provincial Administration and Ministry of Land Management, Urban Planning and Construction will hold the third campaign to plant seedlings in the flooded forest. PM, home hospitalization not allowed for Omicron patients. Prime Minister Hun Sen said today that anyone who was found positive for SARS-CoV-2 variant B.1.1.529 or Omicron will not be allowed to be treated at home, as he announced more new Omicron cases for Cambodia. Kindergartens with pupils aged 3 and 5 allowed to reopen. Kindergartens with pupils aged from 3 and 5 years old are allowed to reopen for this academic year this month, Prime Minister Hun Sen said. Kampot International Port to be completed by end of March. Experts confirmed that the construction process of Kampot International Port has been slowed down due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the current weather, but the construction is 90% complete and will be finished by the end of March. 3 charged for murder at quarantine center. 3 migrant workers, 2 in absentia, were charged in Battambang Provincial Court yesterday for the murder of a worker at a district quarantine center on New Year's Day. US's first Cambodian-American mayor appointed in Massachusetts City. The city of Lowell in Massachusetts has appointed the United States' first Cambodian-American mayor. Fears allayed, Mo and WHO say no need to worry much about Omicron. Despite Cambodia recording almost 100 cases of the Omicron variant of COVID-19, all imported, the Health Ministry and World Health Organization have assured people that they need not worry too much. Thailand suspends test and go continues amid Omicron spike, Cambodia must capitalize. Thailand continues the suspension of the test and go scheme for travelers, as the country is battling the spike in COVID-19 cases driven by the Omicron variant, a senior public health ministry official said on Tuesday. Banti Minchi to hold third flooded forest rehabilitation campaign. Banti Minchi Provincial Administration and Ministry of Land Management, Urban Planning and Construction will hold the third campaign to plant seedlings in the flooded forest. President of Indonesia emphasizes the importance of strengthening ASEAN efforts to assist Myanmar. According to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, regarding the current situation in Myanmar, the two leaders, Prime Minister Hun Sen and President Joko Widodo exchanged views on recent developments in Myanmar and stressed the importance of strengthening ASEAN's efforts to assist Myanmar in finding appropriate solutions and achieve national unity, peace and long-term stability and development. More evidence emerges pointing to Omicron's milder symptoms amid mass spread of new variant. The entire world ushered in 2022 with optimism and trepidation as news continued to break that Omicron may be poised to supercharge a new surge of COVID-19 cases globally, with some of the world's major countries reporting growing cases, but some studies are suggesting that the new variant may not be as severe as first thought. Cambodian, Indonesian leaders hold phone talks on Myanmar and ASEAN cooperation. Prime Minister Hun Sen held phone talks with Indonesian President Joko Widodo on December 5, discussing cooperation under the ASEAN framework and Myanmar's political situation, Cambodia's foreign ministry said. Prey Veng governor calls for effective elimination of drug crimes. Prey Veng's provincial governor reminded relevant authorities to strive to effectively eliminate drug crimes. WHO, 70% vaccination target must be met globally to ward off Omicron. The development comes as a senior World Health Organization (WHO) epidemiologist repeated the agency's message that countries could not boost their way out of the pandemic, while the Omicron variant was transmitting so intensely, just as the Delta variant has done. Preparations for ASEAN Tourism Forum, ATF, 2022 reaches 90%. The Ministry of Tourism of Cambodia has announced that Dr. Thong Kon, Minister of Tourism, and Couch Shamroon, Governor of Sihanouk Province, had chaired a meeting to review the remaining works as well as inspect the actual location for the 40th ASEAN Tourism Forum 2022, ATF 2022, in Sihanoukville to prepare for receiving international delegates at the ministerial level and senior officials. A total of 787 media units registered with the Ministry of Information while 11 were deleted. MC General Department of Information and Audiovisual said that in 2021, a total of 787 media units were registered with the Ministry of Information and 11 of these were deleted. ASEAN COVID-19 Table, the 5th of January 2022. ASEAN as a whole has reported more than 14.9 million COVID-19 cases. Of this, more than 560,000 are active cases as of January 5. OTE Dam Development Project to be completed by year-end. The OTE Dam Development Project in Mondulkiri Province is now 20% complete and is set for full completion by the end of this year. 1,700 scholarships to study abroad available for students. The Education Ministry announced that it plans to recruit more than 1,700 students to study abroad for bachelor, master and PhD degrees, research and vocational training this year. Father slits infant's neck with machete. A 35-year-old man who was high on drugs killed his 16-month-old daughter by slitting her neck using a machete on Monday in Ratanakiri Province. Desperate garment workers cease breastfeeding and face malnutrition. Malnutrition is rampant among garment workers and their children because of diet and their desperation to get back to work, leading to the replacement of breast milk with instant powdered milk, the government said. Time to check details as NEC releases voter lists. The National Election Committee, NEC, yesterday displayed this year's voter list for the first time since registration began last year. PM thanks Indonesia for initiating new ideas for ASEAN enhancement. Prime Minister Hun Sen yesterday thanked Indonesia for initiating new ideas, including the recent ones, ASEAN Outlook on the Indo-Pacific, which is a key document of ASEAN in managing its relations with external partners. Key Objectives of ASEAN Chair 2022 released. Foreign Minister Prak Sokhonn yesterday announced that Cambodia has officially begun its role to lead ASEAN for 2022 and released the ASEAN's Chair's key objectives and expected outcomes. Pham Sinh Pek internal leadership battle could lead to deeper divide. The ongoing fight for the presidency inside the royalist Pham Sinh Pek party after the death of late party president Prince Norodom Ranariddh has turned the party that once won an election and co-led the government into an unstable problem child ahead of the upcoming commune elections. Police misconduct will result in termination. Banti Minchi provincial police officers will experience reduction in rank, removal from positions, or even dismissal should they be found guilty of misconduct. Indigenous people face delays in obtaining land titles. Indigenous community leaders have raised concerns about delays in obtaining collective land titles, CLT. The bureaucratic process, already complex, has been further delayed by the pandemic's impact. To date, 30 out of 455 CLTs have been granted. Private flight service demand resumes in Kingdom and beyond. Private airline company JFD Jet said that demand for aircraft services in Cambodia seems to be recovering and gaining the support of Cambodian and foreign businesspeople since the kingdom's reopening after COVID-19. Vietnamese charged with trafficking almost 200 kilograms drugs. A 25-year-old Vietnamese was charged in the Phnom Penh Municipal Court yesterday for possession and trafficking of almost 200 kilograms of methamphetamine drug in the capital last Thursday. Report on last year's fish imports crackdown released. A working group on the prevention and crackdown of illegal export-import fishery product transportation has wrapped up its annual meeting on achievements for last year, citing positive results and making recommendations for the new year.